Hello again, this is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today, and I guess I have a twofer here. I can explain where the hell I've been, and I can sort of give you an update on where we're all headed with this story here. And it goes a little something like this. We have long alleged that the MPS and ERD, I don't know, access, for lack of a better word, has definitely converged in at many things, but certainly in their agreement that uh, Dr. Keither and the people that she works with to file Wisconsin Fair Employment Act cases against Milwaukee Public Schools and their promotion of that should be stopped. I think that much is clear that they're unified in that interest. And we can also say of their hatred of this channel, which, in some ways, many people are entitled to their own opinion on many different subjects. I will say that when it's the government and government actors, they're entitled to their own opinions when they go home, but they're not entitled, in my opinion, and I think in the Constitution agrees with me that the Wisconsin Equal Rights Division is not entitled to retaliate against those who create YouTube channels for the purpose of holding them democratically accountable. I mean, I think we've been very express in that phrase. Democratic criticism has been applied to the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development, specifically the Equal Rights Division. And I can just very clearly come out and say it. It's my understanding from Calvin Fermin that Maria Selsor took action, raised the issue of deliberate indifference YouTube channel, and specifically one video that Calvin Fermin also raised an issue about. And the person who brought it to Calvin Fermin's attention was none other than Maria Selsor, and she expressly communicated to Calvin Fermin that she did not like the message of deliberate indifference Wisconsin because she felt, and of course I'm paraphrasing here, that this channel was critical, let's say. This channel was critical of the Equal Rights Division, and specifically the Equal Rights Division's hiring of Calvin Fermin. Let's be very critical about that. I will point out two things that I know to be true, which is that Maria Selsor has, on at least two occasions, communicated to me that Calvin Fermin's defamation suit against Dr. Keither and myself regarding this channel is what she would say not related to the Department of Workforce Development. I think her phrase is purely a private matter. Well, that seems to be in doubt based on my understanding of the testimony of Calvin Fermin. So that's, when we talk about things like, why does my client's scheduling orders have statements like you can't record anything and nothing can be recorded without the express consent of the ALJ, exact same thing that MPS asked for, but only for me. That was pretty good evidence. Why are there police officers coming for me and knowing about my YouTube channel and appearing at my hearings in person for Benitez Morgan? It turns out, as far as I understand, that Benitez Morgan and others have consulted on active cases with Calvin Fermin. This is again from my understanding of what Calvin Fermin said. Uh, Peter Reinhardt, ALJ Peter Reinhardt, also conferred with Calvin Fermin while he was deciding MPS cases. Um, to bring things all together, I think we've already reported and called, frankly, for the resignation of Maria Selsor based on her drafting of the dismissal of the Ford versus MPS case, which we say she knows she could not have done. Now we know that in the timing of all this, that's right smack, it's right before she goes to Calvin Fermin about our comments. The timeline is just developing here. There is a lot of information yet, I think, to come out. But it's fair to say that when you feel like your civil rights are being violated, they probably are. Um, at least that's my experience here with the Department of Workforce Development and Milwaukee Public Schools. Um, yeah, we'll leave it at that for today, right now. Um, but that's my statement of empathy out there for all you who have had your rights violated. Um, it is, when it's the government, there's something particularly worse about this kind of treatment. There really is. And I understand when people come to me and say, the government said something about my good name, or it's this government action that needs to stop. And it is particularly different. And boy, are we lucky there is a constitution out there that prohibits the government, at least in the United States, from singling people out, from doing negative things to people because they don't like their politics, or because they said something bad about them, or they democratically criticize them. Thank goodness we have a constitution in the state of Wisconsin that protects uh, its citizens from these kind of actions. Uh, according to Calvin Fermin again. Um, Thank goodness. Thanks for sticking with this. Keep you.